All right, Nika, there is more dirty laundry coming out about Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini, and we are talking about it all right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
This bulletin just handed to me.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Yes, indeed, this is Breaking NFL right here on the KeNikka Sports Channel. But first, we'd like to welcome you aboard. Yes, indeed. If you can feel the love in the air, then click that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to ring that bell for our mascot, Frexy, everybody. Look at her run throughout the park. She is just adorable, and she brings so much joy to our lives, and we hope she brings some to yours at home as well.
Thank you.
Well, Nika, just when you thought the Mike Vrabel, Dianna Russini story was about to die, it's back!
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Sweet. What we got?
Well, before we get into all of the juicy new details, I actually want to give a shout out to Tony Farmer, everybody, at Tony's Market Tips on Twitter /X. But what he's really doing right now is a lot of independent journalism regarding the Dianna Russini, Mike Vrabel situation.
Hoorah!
And I even want to go a step further and say that he might have even taken up Mike Florio's call to action, because Mike Florio also said somebody out there is going to do this work. And the work is looking back through all of Diana's old articles and to then match up the dates of what was happening in the NFL world, in the Tennessee Titans world, and then the New England Patriots world at the same time as all of those things were happening. And I feel like Tony Farmer has taken up this call to action. And I just want to give you a salute, sir.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
He's connecting the pieces out there. He's trying to leave as much detail as he can with articles, with posts, with videos. So do me a favor, go follow him, go read through some of his articles, go check out the work that he's doing. And it's really impressive for somebody that is an independent in this business.
Course,
and it's also kind of sad because it reflects the real world state of our journalism, everybody.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
So I wanted to bring everyone up to speed and just react to a couple of the minor details, Nika. We had, just to refresh your memory, the New York City photos from 2020 in the bar that leaked out. And this happened in March of 2020, which was, you guessed it, lockdown time, everybody.
It's a damn shame. A damn shame.
We were all on lockdown, but not them. They were at a New York City bar getting cozy with each other. A little smoochy action going on in these pictures.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Were we all locked up and they were not? That's
No
messed
masks
up.
either.
Well, of course not. How you smooch with the mask?
We know the 1% didn't wear the masks, Nika.
I know.
All right. Well, then shortly after that, we had the fourth Vrabel-Russini photo dump. This time it was TMZ getting in on the action, and they had the casino photos. These were shortly after Mike Vrabel had been fired as Tennessee Titans head coach. They were taken in the great state of Mississippi.
Ooh.
Man, there is so much coverage of states with this story now. We have Arizona, Mississippi,
New York.
Tennessee, where this new thing is going to be coming from. But let's not forget, we also had the crazy dash cam, body cam footage released from the accident, which was that she had supposedly made this daring rescue at a car accident, which was weird timing. And
Sure.
it turns out that
It wasn't her?
she was not in the original accident report,
Denied.
which kind of lends like, was she actually on the scene? And then there was something about like she was holding a dog's leash, and then the woman in the body cam footage that's seen holding the dog's leash really doesn't look anything like her.
Yeah. It's a questionable story.
I don't want to say she was there. She wasn't there. I don't know for sure, but this looks really fishy and weird that it went from being a rescue at a scene of an accident to she's nowhere to be found in the accident report.
Right.
Then it got really weird yesterday
Okay.
because Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini were back in the news, this time courtesy once again of TMZ. And I think TMZ's been a little bit aggressive with this story lately because they missed the initial scoop that the New York Post got on them with page 6.
They decided to pass originally, and
they
now
did.
They have a buyer's
and now
remorse.
they they definitely have passer's remorse for sure.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini rented a private boat while she was pregnant. That got my attention. I want to read this story for our audience now. It says, Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini kept things afloat during her pregnancy. Allegedly rented boat together. Exclusive by TMZ staff. It says, add a new chapter to the Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini saga because TMZ Sports has learned they allegedly rented a private boat together for a day on the water. Just the two of them.
Were they discussing the pregnancy or potential trade deals in NFL?
Well, that's a great question, KeNikka. And we got time to cover both of these things.
Okay.
But let's first get into just what happened on this date.
Okay.
Back in 2021 of June, the NFL duo booked the vessel in Putnam County, Tennessee back in June 2021, according to a source with direct knowledge, who also says the then Tennessee Titans head coach and the journalist were the only people on board for their 2 to 3 hour rental.
Ooh, love boat.
Ooh. Do you enjoy the motion of the ocean, everybody? The timing of that outing might raise a few eyebrows to tell because Russini was pregnant at the time with her first child. Documents obtained by TMZ Sports show both signed the company waiver before heading out on a lake. Now, I just want to stop right here for a second and be like, how dumb do you got to be these two, and or how arrogant maybe do you have to be these two out in the open like this, and you sign your names on pieces of paper?
Well, they're renting a boat, so they have to sign something.
And our source says there was no visible PDA before they departed, so no hand-holding on the dock. No.
Just two people going to a boat.
Just two adults. We're also told Vrabel and Russini appeared cautious about photos being taken. You think? And while she declined to pose at all with the staff, Vrabel agreed to snap one picture, but allegedly asked that no images be publicly posted.
Oh,
well,
so they were
that's
going...
all out the window now, I guess, because here is that picture, and the only person that's not blurred out is Mike Vrabel, everybody. So, oops. Russini gave birth later that summer to the first of her two kids after marrying her husband, Kevin Goldschmidt, in 2020. Vrabel has been married to his wife, Jen, since 1999, and they also share two children. A week after the boat outing, Russini posted an Instagram photo seemingly of Kevin on a New Jersey beach with the caption, quote, "Lucky to have great people to spend this holiday with." As we reported, speculation about their relationship started when they were photographed looking cozy at an Arizona boutique resort. And since then, other photos have come to light showing Vrabel and Russini doing everything from gambling at a casino in 2024 to kissing at a bar in 2020. We've reached out to both Vrabel and Russini about the boat trip. No word back yet. Silence is golden, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. She has been radio silent after resigning from the Athletic over it all. Meanwhile, Coach Vrabel has vowed to be a better person for his family and the Patriots.
Okay. Bravo.
Thank you, Mike Vrabel, for that vow. TMZ followed up their beautiful story from yesterday with another exclusive today, and it was new video from that day in question. And you can clearly see Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini heading out for their Tennessee boat day, with her very much showing during her first pregnancy. And here is the portrait video version that they posted, and you can see the red arrow pointing Vrabel, hilarious, and the red arrow in the next one pointing at Russini, just in case there was any doubt, everybody.
Wow. Okay, so we have a picture.
So we have video, we have a Mike Vrabel photo from the day in question. Yeah, this definitely happened.
Yes, you cannot deny that. This is not AI generated imagery.
So that's where we're at. That brings us pretty much up to speed, though I will save one thing for the end, if you will indulge me. But for now, I want to move on because now that we're pretty much up to speed, a lot of people are asking, KeNikka, why do we still care? Why is this anybody's business? Like, we already know they were together. What is the point of all this malicious dripping and blah, blah, blah? Why are we allowing this to what is the point?
No, exactly. What is the point other than sensationalism?
Well, let me explain it for you,
Sure.
shall we? We now have pictures and evidence of them together in the years 2020, 2021, 2024, and 2026.
Ooh.
So we can relatively now start to assume that 2022, 2023, and 2025, they were in touch with each other.
Most
Maybe
likely.
physically, but probably
Most
audibly,
likely.
at least text messages, burners, phones, whatever.
Yes.
This is just the beginning.
The other thing that's interesting to note is this now covers two teams for him, the Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots. And it also covers two different news organizations for her, ESPN and The Athletic / the New York Times.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And what's interesting about that is that the two teams are not going to at least publicly investigate it, though the Titans might want to do some digging and be like, was this guy doing some crazy nefarious shit while he was here?
They might. Unlikely, but
But we don't think the Patriots want to know anything more.
no. Patriots, there's nothing to see. Move on.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here.
The New York Times and The Athletic are in a different situation because some of their actual employees are like, WTF. And so they've announced that they're doing an investigation into all of this. But ESPN, on the other hand, the more and more entertainment style of sports journalism than actual
Journalism.
hard journalism, they have not made any kind of public statement about any of this. And I kind of feel like that's unprofessional at this point.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
This happened under your watch with one of your reporters. And for you to just say mum's the word, like zip,
Nothing.
zada, nothing,
Yeah.
like as a business, I think it reflects really poorly on them in this instance. And a lot of people are asking, like, what the hell did they exactly know and when?
And why they are not doing anything
And maybe they
about
were
it.
covering up stuff
Yeah.
going on earlier for their reporter.
That is one big pile of shit.
Now that we have some of these dates and even dates like June 2021, we can start to look at what was going on in the NFL world at that time and what was going on in Dianna Russini's columns at that time, or what information she was breaking around that time. And we can start to connect dots. And that's why this is important, because we now maybe have three possible examples of tampering. I want to start with the obvious one because everyone's been talking about this one almost since day one. The A.J. Brown trade from the Eagles to supposedly going to Philadelphia. This is Pro Sports Network here. Did Dianna Russini intentionally stir up A.J. Brown drama in Philadelphia to help Mike Vrabel's Patriots trade for him? Dianna Russini faces rumors of intentionally stirring up drama between A.J. Brown and the Eagles to help Mike Vrabel's Patriots. That's just one example, but I hope that starts to illustrate to some people out there who want to be tone deaf to this reality that these kinds of influences may or may not have been going on, and that's why this is all still important. It's not just two people's
Personal
sleazy
stuff. Yeah.
love life, sexcapades, whatever you want to call it, love boat.
Love boat.
It gets better and better. But it's more about, was there actual tampering going on inside of the NFL between, the lead journalist at the New York Times or ESPN or
The
lead
insider.
NFL insider
Yeah.
and one of the head coaches for one of the 32 teams in the league? This is like an insider that's going on TV shows and being like, well, sources tell me.
Right.
Sources told me. Who is that? Source could be Mike Vrabel, KeNikka.
You sure?
Right.
I want to point out a couple of Tony's headlines here and a little bit of his writing. The NFL was made aware evidence of Vrabel-Russini scandal in March of 2025 and apparently ignored it. In 2025, NFL fans were screaming from the rooftops that something fishy was going on between Dianna Russini and the New England Patriots. The incident prompting the concern occurred on March 9th, 2025, and to this day, the NFL still hasn't addressed it publicly. Nobody in the media has asked the NFL if they've addressed it privately either. If the NFL had taken fans' concern more seriously, blah, 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 you can go read the rest of this. But basically, the tweet at the bottom from Brendan McGovern says, would love to see the Jets file a tampering charge on the Pats for Morgan Moses. Ethically challenged Dianna Russini spilled the beans on that yesterday. She may be a bigger rival to the Jets than the Pats. And what happened here is that Dianna Russini had published an image of Morgan Moses with a Patriots logo on it already, meaning that someone had told her that the Patriots were signing this guy. And this is in those free agency windows where there's legal tampering and illegal tampering. And this occurred in the illegal tampering period. So it was kind of like her basically admitting that this tampering was going on. She claimed it was a mistake later, and she got away with it a little bit because she said the NFL and the New England logo were right next to each other, and it was supposed to be the NFL logo.
Right.
I'll leave it up to you to whether or not you want to believe that. It's somewhat of a viable explanation, but still fishy.
Sure.
Did Mike Vrabel take Dianna Russini on a boat to thank her for helping him acquire Julio Jones? Question mark. Today's revelation that Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini took a one-on-one boat ride together in June of 2021 is prompting new questions. Pro Football Talk was the first credible outlet to suggest a theory that Dianna Russini played a role in helping the Titans acquire Julio Jones by cooling his trademark. I elaborated on the theory and discussed its implications with other players like A.J. Brown and Max Crosby. We haven't even talked about Max Crosby in this, which is kind of funny. Russini's scoop helped ESPN with the article below. The story was written between the time she was seen kissing Mike Vrabel in a New York City bar and when this alleged boat ride took place almost, 15 months later. Then the Titans traded for Julio Jones on June 6th. So this article was written on May 27th, 2021, and the boat ride in question happened the next month, though I don't think we know the exact specific day. But this player was traded June 6th, and it says Atlanta Falcons have offer of a first-round pick for Julio Jones. Sources say Tennessee Titans a long shot. The Atlanta Falcons have discussed several offers for wide receiver Julio Jones, including an offer of a future first-round draft pick, sources told ESPN's Dianna Russini. And the reason why this is important, KeNikka, the reason why this is important and the reason why this is interesting is because Julio Jones did get traded to the Tennessee Titans later, but it was for, drum roll please, a third-round draft pick. Now, how did the great Dianna Russini get this so wrong? You know, here she is saying that it's going to be a first rounder. And yet Tennessee, the long shot, according to the headline, winds up getting him for a third rounder. How did that happen? And what people are saying and what the general consensus here seems to be is that by saying this out loud, that he was getting first round offers, it cooled the market. Other teams were like, well, we don't want to give up a first rounder, so we're just not going to stop calling.
Yeah.
And then turns out the teams offering the second rounder, they stopped calling. And then by default, it goes to the team that wanted a third rounder. There's other layers to this, I'm sure, but it sure looks fishy, and it sure looks worth investigating on the surface to me. On the
surface, at least.
Denied.
If the NFL is not going to investigate this, the question really becomes why. Why are they not investigating this? You know, we talked about Roger Goodell quite a bit in our Bears draft pick piece. Yes. And I said at the time that if we really want to understand why the Bears aren't getting the comp picks, we need to start paying a lot closer attention about who is sitting and advising Roger Goodell. And I think the same thing applies in this situation.
Double down.
They don't want to
Why
touch it.
is the NFL not investigating this? Don't just blame Roger Goodell. Look at who is around him and whispering in his ear. Because let's be honest, all of these big people in life, they have support teams around them that are helping them make these decisions.
They got yes men around them.
To think that those people don't have their own motivations is ridiculous. So I think we need to start paying more attention to it.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
TMZ, they were not done. I'm just going to read the headline. It says, Dianna Russini, son named after brother, ... not Mike Vrabel. That's a weird one on the surface alone, right?
Yes.
But then you also have this tweet from August 11th, 2021 from Dianna Russini. And it says, keep looking at my almost 4-day-old son, Michael, while trying to figure out who are the best Michaels to ever play and coach in the NFL. And one of those Michaels is Mike Vrabel, believe it or not.
Holy shnikes.
The article that TMZ put out about the name, they didn't even mention this tweet.
Yes.
And yet this has been going around X like wildfire for like weeks now since this story almost came out. Like people have been connecting these dots and like looking at Spotify playlists and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, TMZ is a little late to the party, okay?
If you ain't first, you're last.
I get it, but at the same time, they didn't show this tweet, which is like, isn't
should
that
have.
the other side of the story? Aren't you
Yes.
supposed to present all the sides of the story? Just because she deleted her account doesn't mean the tweet doesn't exist anymore.
That's
Look,
true.
I'm looking at it right now.
Of course. People forget it's the internet. It's like a black hole.
It is. And now it's in this video forever and ever.
Exactly.
So come at me, I guess.
Are you not entertained?
I did say we have to tell all sides to this. So I want to say that there's also another interesting piece of evidence about this, because we haven't said the quiet part out loud, but we're going to kind of address it right now. In 2019, Mike Vrabel did a podcast interview and said he got a vasectomy.
Okay.
So snip, snip. Does this whole like tinfoil conspiracy theory about
Everything else.
who the
after?
father is, does that even matter if this is true?
Well,
I mean, I know they can be undone and reversed, so you can turn the flow back on.
Looks like meat's back on the menu.
I want to be fair to everybody involved. This is what's been put out there right now.
but
and
how true it is, just because somebody said so doesn't make it true.
I understand. He could have even told his wife he got it done, and
right. And
maybe he didn't. Who knows?
Exactly.
That would be an awful lie to tell your wife.
He's a liar.
Because TMZ brought it up, I felt like it was okay to address that part of it as well, because, I really don't want to get in the mud with these people.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think the NFL needs to look into these tampering charges.
Double down.
It certainly appears as though these two were working together to help each other out, I guess. Like she was
Well, I
getting
think-
great juice for her career, and he was getting players that he wanted or potentially wanted. And
I think, yeah.
that's
I
that's
think
below
that's-
board, everybody. I don't care who
exactly.
you are. That's scheming the system against other people
And they
in a
got
way
really-
that is not fair to them.
And they've been doing this for so many years that at the end of it,
I
they
know.
got really arrogant and they got caught.
This has been going on like longer than Pete Rose was gambling on games.
Show me the money!
So what are the biggest questions now, KeNikka? My list is basically this in order. What's going to leak out next? Because it seems like this just has been slowly dripped out. And I just feel like there's already people that already know that there's more coming.
This is just the beginning.
Kind of connected to that question, I guess, is if and when will Dianna decide to tell her side of the story? Because her resignation letter, she doubled down. She
Yes.
said, I'm innocent. Nothing happened. Mike Vrabel did not.
Yeah,
he threw her
it
under
on
the
the
bus. He's like, yeah, I did some bad shit. And I'm sorry, I'm going to counseling. And that's not what somebody who's innocent of anything says. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So he threw her under the bus.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I want to kind of throw a little bit of caution Diana's way, because you go out there and say your side of the story and you keep lying and more evidence comes out to contradict your next story. You ain't going to get a third chance to tell your story.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
So you better make sure that whatever story you tell next is as truthful and as foolproof as it can get as far as people disproving it. Because if one thing comes out of that story that's proven false, you are done. You don't get strike three. You will never have any ounce of credibility ever again, even though you have barely any as it is.
Well, maybe she's waiting for the right time till the story dies out. Then she comes out.
Well, what is the right time?
I don't
Because
know.
that leads to my final question. And that is, will Mike Vrabel be coaching the Patriots this upcoming season, Nika?
Ooh, it's a
With
great
the
question.
way things are moving, Kalishi and Polymarket are watching the situation. It's not 100%, everybody, and it is falling.
It's not, but I think he will be coaching.
I think it's 50-50, in
All
all
right.
honesty, at this point. I think it depends on whether or not the faucet gets sealed up anytime soon, because you don't want this going on during training camp.
You don't.
You don't want this going on even during rookie camp.
It's a damn shame. A damn shame.
The problem is every time something new comes out like it did now,
It's a distraction.
he's going to have to address this again in a press conference because people are going to be allowed to ask questions about it.
Yeah,
It's new.
it's new, definitely.
So that's the
boat is
problem with
new.
the story like this. And if it happens again right before rookie minicamp, then they can't control that. And
They
then
might have
he's
to
stuck
address
talking
it.
about that. It's unfair to the rookies. It's unfair to the players. And it's just a big distraction for the team. And at what point do you be like, at least take a leave of absence? At least be like, I'm taking the year off. I'm taking time away to fix my family,
I
whatever.
know, but the problem is getting a new coach. And
You wouldn't get a new coach. The assistant coach would be the interim coach for the year.
I understand, but I don't think the Pats want to have that.
It's not about what they want.
I
It's about what they can
understand.
control at this point. All right, well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you on Nika's side? Do you think Mike Vrabel is definitely going to be on the sidelines next year with the headset on for the New England Patriots? Or do you think it's more like me, 50-50? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's more that comes out. Maybe the distractions mount up, and maybe it's just too much for New England Patriots to take. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we will talk to you guys next time.